Welcome back, my friends. I received message that Volcano MC from Syria released a new song, and I want to go for it. It's called Shi Bkhre, and it's a political song. I translated the lyrics. It's a lot of metaphors, it's a lot of cryptic words, but in general, I think it criticizes all the different political participants in Syria, and saying basically, since there is a new leader in power, nothing really has changed, but yeah, despite this, before it wasn't better. So this is basically what the song is about. You're gonna see my reaction after the intro.
Dampf, hämmern, pausenlos in der Mordkombüse. Viele Tiere, Rapper-Kadaver, stoppe kurz, um von dort zu grüßen. Ich injiziere Autotune, verseuchten Rapper, Nervengift. Auch sie sind immun durch Konsum von Teledin und sterben nicht.
If you want to support me, please sub to the channel, hit the bell, let's go. Okay. Crazy how dangerous this beat sounds. Holy heck.
نشوة الطرش خلصت تهريبة خنزير البري وظبط الطبع حلاس وقال لهم أنا دوري وفري كل الحقائق من بعدها رقصات التعري صارت الغابة أفضح من عازة بحث وتحري ما تفكر غبت هالفترة لأنه كافي خيري وشري ولا جديدة حالة ما توصل الفراعي المقري ولا بعتذر عن هالعنوان ولا لساني المتمري بتوتر راس للزفت ارفع شو شي بيخري.
Okay, so chain rhymes in the first part right here, the first 8 bars, all the same, double rhyme in the end of the line.
العنوان ولا لساني المتمري بتوتر راس للزفت ارفع شو شي بيخري من الاكس وبيخري من كل حاجيته شي بيخري من النكست واللي صاروا زبانيته شي بيخري من ريجار انفتح ونضحب عن جهيته فجر شو اجا الليل مع وطاويته ومع جرابيعه والتحصيل
Interesting what he did with the rhyme. He continued the rhyme he had before, but put it in like somewhere in the beginning of the line and added another line rhyme in the end for these 4 bars. So continuing the old rhyme scheme but adding another on top, you know.
محصلة بدسلكوا السم بالخرا أكلتكوا المفضلة بشربكوا كانت عكرة وصارت أعكر وبغلية ما ضللكوا مي عذبة لحتى ينصاد فيها لا تضوج وراسك يحمى أكبر غباء عملته إني راعيت شعور الخنازير من سني بس لمجرد فكرة إنه لسه في مين بيعتبر مو حرام لحمة برجع للرواية وبقتحمى كترة الحكمة
Haram. This is where we're at. Now, the translation starts pretty interesting. The ecstasy of the deaf ended with the escape of the wild boar. The hyena fixed his tie and told them, it's my turn to flee or rule. Now, there's an explanation for this right here. The animal kingdom metaphor, the escape of the wild boar. Volcano uses an animal fable framework to describe political transitions. The wild boar and hyena represent corrupt political figures and warlords who scramble for power, adjust their appearances, and exploit the chaos. So actually, the change in power from Syria, he describes like basically the leaders in Syria as hyena and boar, and the boar got replaced with an hyena. I mean, this is actually how I understand it. So basically criticizing both leaders for being monsters, actually, basically, you know. Then we can go for more of the lyrics. It's really a lot of metaphors right here in the beginning. Don't think I was gone all this time because my good and evil were enough, nor is it a new phase where the fox's kids haven't reached my level. So really a lot of these animal metaphors right here. And then he goes like, and with the scabies of its jerboas and the final tally of the results. I will feed you poison mixed with the shit, your favorite meal. I will make you drink what used to be murky but has now become murkier as I boil it. There's no fresh water left for you to fish in. Don't get upset and hot-headed. The biggest stupidity I committed was sparing the feeling of pigs years ago just because of the mere thoughts that some still consider their meat not haram. So it sounds like he kind of is now eating pig meat, and I wonder, but I don't see that there's an explanation right here for this line. Okay, let's continue.
لما المظاهر مقياس فليلة ضيع عمري بأبحاث عن اقتباس لكل شي باخده بوساخة ألفاظ ومنيكة لأنه صناع القرار عمرهم ما نسفوا بمعركة كل وبش سافل متخبط بدي بنطق أنجاس شرش عاطل ومنبت ردي وعرق دساس بخش واصل عمضرة صدى حرق أحداث مو الكحول انتو أم الخبائث والأخباث أخنس من الخناس مسخرة للجن والإنس حبل المستقبل وهم غابتكو عملتولا عنس طمركو الدنس طبق عليكم الرجس بالنفس صدقا كتير فيكم لا نافية للجنس البغال ما بتاخد.
Yeah, really aggressive beat and really aggressive rapping style. I think we can sum it up like that. For real, it's really aggressive, you know.
عبر افهمون يا بس راسه والارنب بين الروس باع اشترى بس راسه السيستم نفسه اخرى يلي تغير بس راسه والخاطف قنع الخطيف اصبر عليه بس راسه بس راسه فحوى دفاتركو نفس الوخم قد ما زينتوا التغليفة كلمتين القذرات اطهر من كل جرايدكن اللي نظيفة عمري ما شفت طقم وقرافة الا هندام المسخ ما في مين بيوصل هالنظافة غير ان كان وسخ وجوه بالشعر كاسيات والادمغة عاريات وما في شي تبدل غير شكل الخرق على الساريات.
Very dense flow. He's not pausing a lot in this song. You know, he's really rapping through. There's not a lot of stops in this at all. So we were at the haram thing. I'm returning to the story and I'm breaking into it. An abundance of wisdom becomes a vulgarity when appearances are the metric. So I think what he's saying is that he became vulgar because he's cursing in the song as well. And for I don't know for what reason actually. This one here is interesting because decision makers have never bled in battle. What he's saying is actually that so many people in Syria died, and the ones who were the leaders of the different fractions, they never had to bleed, right? They were just the ones playing a game, kind of. Then it goes like... what else do we have? More sneaky than the devil himself, a laughingstock to jinn and mankind. The rope of the future is an illusion. You've made your forest spinsterish. Filth has buried you. Abomination has gripped your very souls. So, not 100% sure. I mean, I think he's talking about alcohol in this part because he's talking about this before, and maybe he's even comparing specific people to alcohol as a metaphor. This would make sense actually. I don't know if we have any of these things explained below. Mules never learn lessons. The one who understands them is stubborn. So actually saying like a lot of people don't understand what is going on in Syria and they just cheer for a certain faction and they kind of like don't see that all of them are evil, you know. So do we have, yeah, here was an explanation actually. The accent, the next, a direct nod to changing political figures or international masters. Volcano starts that whether it is the previous oppressor or the new one stepping up, they are identical in the tyranny. Yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense right here. And then I think, I don't know if we have any more explanations. The forest became more exposed. The forest is a metaphor for a lawless state where survival of the fittest rules and any illusion of civilization or civil rights has completely stripped away. Okay, so he's saying when he's calling Syria forest, he's saying like there are no civil rights basically in this country at all, right?
تسليم وبلفت الفتح المبين غالي والتاريخ ببرمجه المنتصرين بالوكالة والنزعات باينة والفزعات عالفاينة والعسقات عالعدو راخية والكل عواينة مالي ولا مولانا والو مما بدكو توالو بيجيكو يوم وبتولولو من موالو وبتولوا بالتوالي من ويلات الوالي وبيلوي بوزو الغالي واللهم مالو نامو بتمنى فيه لاقي مفرد هالقطعان فهمان انها حروب اهلية والكل خسران تلت مغلوب عأمره والتلت التاني بهايم والتلت الثالث شباقة بيطبل للقير القايم بورصة
I really like his flow in this song in general. I feel like the way he's flowing and as well how he's pronouncing the words is really, really strong, you know.
ظلميات مع اختلاف العرق بلد قدش ولحش من فوق الأساطيح كل الطرق قد ما عبر عن.
Did he mention Assad right here? Because I didn't see him in the lyrics when I was reading them, I think. Okay.
استرائي ما بيكفي النطق ما بينشخ بحلقن حتى لو رئتينن عم تحترق لك شي بيخرم من البلاشفة والمناشفة وكل ولاء لكل طائفة وكل دواء كان الداء فيه يكفينا شر الشيخ إذا تمنيك والمنيك إذا تمشيخ وش باللعجة إذا تشيك لك شي بيخرم نصطب الكوهامان وفرعون ولما الشعب يكون بدال إيديه طايل قرونه بيشلحوا الصباط على راسهم وبيلبسوا ماركة غيره وبيضلوا يمصوا لجلادهم بشهيقه وزفيره.
Okay, so I think the general sound of the song is really strong. Like, you know, it feels like it is like yeah, just a really good sound overall. We have why here a line that says faces covered in hair while brains are completely naked, and then hand over and take over wrapped in the illusion of a costly manifest victory. I think both of these lines were explained down below. If I'm correct, maybe. Faces covered in hair while brains are completely naked. A critique of superficial religiosity while lacking any real intellect, critical thinking, or humanity. Growing beards for piety. So basically saying like, if you like growing a beard because you want to show that you're religious, you lack action. You are just pretending to be intelligent, right? And this is really interesting. I thought there was another explanation for the other line, but I think there isn't. So we're at history is programmed by the winners by Proxy. So this makes a lot of sense standing on his own, right? So the winner defines what is right or wrong, basically, in these conflicts. The Winners by Proxy points out that the Syrian conflict became the playground for international powers. The local factions are merely fighting wars by proxy, and the history of the conflict is being rewritten by outsiders. Yeah, that is actually true. That is actually absolutely true right here. Then we have even the precious one will twist his mouth in disgust, and oh god, he has no wealth left. I go to sleep wishing to wake up and find a singular form of the herds. Man, it's absolute shit from the Bolsheviks to the Mensheviks. I don't know if there's an explanation for this line down below. And it's absolute shit from your stable, your Haman, and your Pharaoh. So I don't know if there's anything about this right here. We can check this, but it doesn't seem like there is. One piece of shit leaves, and even worse one comes to us. The track ends on a profoundly pessimistic note. Volcano MC sees no light at the end of the tunnel, asserting that history in the region is just endless worsening cycle of tyranny. اوكي
عباطل كلهم وحقودهم صار احقد اخرتهم يندفنوا بالغائط وما تعرف لهم مرقد هولوكوست الجاي علينا بايدينا عمرنا الموقد ذروه نموه على المنابر هالشتلات الغرقد فوضوا الروس خلص باخت كلهم عندهم ادوار ليلعبوها وانا المشاهد الصاخب اثبتوا الحكيت وعقدوا نص وما خاب الظنون اقلهم قلال فهم واكثرهم لا يعقلون شذاذ افاق يا منخل ما بيعيبك بعش فيلك يا ملك الزمان طقطق ابر بنج عشرب وشرط وكشفت راسب ينبحوا بنوحوا وروحهم اوسخ باضعاف من الملعون اللي عنه روحه الكل صام وفطر على حريه بنقطه فوق الحاء والنكران استخباء والتدين ادعاء لذلك رح ابقى السيء بروايه بعض اللقطاء ما لهم مغزى من الوجود مثل ستيانه اسماء.
Yeah, really a strong lyrical song, I feel, because I don't know if he is positioning like this for a reason, but I feel like what he says is actually true. You know, the Syria it has been a place where wars are being waged by actually proxies, foreign countries, and whatever faction is taking the upper hand is been an advantage for a certain part of the population and for the other isn't, and the way how these leaders and the military is dealing with their opponents is actually comparable. It's not like there's good or bad in this conflict, you know what I mean? From this point of view.
Terrorists win.
And this right here is from Counter-Strike. This is crazy. Terrorists win. So we can check the rest of the lyrics right here. The peak of their growth on the podiums are those boxthorn bushes, garkat. And I think there is an explanation for this. In Islamic eschatology, the garkat is a tree that will hide the wrongdoers at the end of times. Volcano use it as to symbolize the deep-rooted toxic elements of society flourishing on political podiums. Okay, I think that makes sense. I think I actually understand this line. Everyone fasted only to break their fast on a freedom with a dot above the H. And there's actually right here an explanation for this. If I can find it. In Arabic, Korea means freedom. If you put a dot above the first letter, it becomes Huriya. Slang derived from khara, meaning crap shit. He's saying the promise of freedom turned into absolute garbage. That's a powerful wordplay right there. I have to say, this is like really, really good. Yeah, I mean, this as well here, they have no purpose for existence, just like Asma's bra. So a crude, highly dismissive punchline used to emphasize complete and utter uselessness is the explanation. I don't know. Really, I mean, it doesn't explain who Asma is. Even the AI probably doesn't know. I can read real quick the summary of the track. This track is a blistering nihilistic critique of post-war Syrian society, the failure of the revolution and the corruption of both the ruling regime and the opposition forces. Volcano Mc positioned himself as the furious spectator who watched 15 years of conflict devolve into a circus of hypocrisy, proxy wars, and cultural decay. The track rejects all political, religious, and social factions. Volcano Mc argues that despite the massive loss of life, nothing has fundamentally changed except the branding of the oppressors. He attacks the superficiality of religious figures, the ignorance of the masses, and the intellectual bankruptcy of the elite. The overarching theme is one of the most bitter disillusionment. The war was a tragedy where everyone lost, and the future promises only more decay. Yeah, I think that makes sense, and it's really sad. It is really sad, actually, you know. I don't know, man. If you want to support me, thank you very much. You can sub to the channel. Stay tuned, and we see us. Bye.